Well, this does not look familiar. Do not know where I'm at, and I seem to be a little bit off course. I need to get my bearings, and I don't believe I'll be able to get back where I'm at by the time it gets dark. So I need to see what I got in my pack. It's going to get me through the night. Hi, I'm Shane with Lone Wolf Survival, and we're shooting a new part of our webisode known as Appalachian Wild. And what you've seen is a situation that you can be placed in, and I'm simulating that I'm a day hiker, and I'm going out for a little short run. I'll be home by 6 o'clock. Well, I've lost my way, and I've determined where I'm at based on my compass and my map that I'm too far away to get back to my vehicle before night falls. I could push forward, I could shoot my coordinate, and I could make it to my vehicle, but I'm going to be hiking in the middle of the woods in the night. Now, I've talked about this before, and I'm going to say it again. Hiking at night is dangerous because of the wildlife and a mechanical injury. I could fall in a hole, I could slip, I could break an arm, break a leg, so I could become injured. Now, that's a whole different situation. So, my crew has been nice enough to provide me a pack with contents in it that a normal person would take with him on a day hike. So let's see what I've got in here and what's going to get me through the night. Alright, what do we have here? A shower curtain. Okay, so why would I carry a shower curtain with me on a day hike? Well, obviously, my crew doesn't want me to get dirty. And because I like to improvise, I'll be using this later. So first off, I want to see what I've got physically on me that's going to help me out in my situation. Now remember, I'm not worried, I'm not injured. I ate this morning, I've been hydrating, so I'm in pretty good shape. It's only going to be an overnight run, but I'm going to make things as comfortable as I can for myself. So on my person, I have a folding pocket knife, I have my compass, nasal decongestant, and a cell phone. Cell phone has no service. Still useful tool to me. Most of them have an app that people have downloaded. They have a digital compass on here, also have a flashlight. So this is going to come in handy as long as the battery's good. So that's what's on my person. Now let's see what they gave me. Alright, looks like we've got a machete. Food items. Got some tater chips. Got a half-drink bottle of water. Really? Really? Ooh. Full bottle. Partial bottle of Mountain Dew. That's definitely none. Bug spray. Looks like we've got a Bridgeford ready-to-eat barbecue sandwich. Quarter roll of toilet paper. Trail mix. An apple. Granola bar. And it looks like we've got an Oreo dip snack. Matches, LED flashlight, snake bite kit, ball of ibuprofen. They do take care of me. Looks like we've got some miscellaneous paracord, probably 25, maybe 50 feet, and a fire starter. And another Oreo dipper. And of course my car keys. So that's what I've got. So that's based on what a normal person or what I would take on a day hike. I'm not going to carry a lot of stuff because I'm only going to be gone for 4 or 5 hours. So what I need to do now is I need to figure out what groups I have and what I need to focus on later on, because obviously to get me through the night so that I'm well rested and ready for the hike out tomorrow, I need to have shelter, I need to have food in me, and I need to hydrate. So I've got all that covered right here. Doesn't seem like a lot of stuff. Now remember, I'm not out here for 2 or 3 days. I'm only out here for an overnight. This is a day hike. So, hydration, food, good, and a few utility tools. I should be good to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start hiking out and I passed a pretty good sized creek earlier, and I believe that'll be my point that I get to where it's about starting getting dusky dark, and I can go ahead and do what I've got to do to get my shelter set up, to get my fire pit, get a fire going, and then work on hydrating good and then refilling and purifying my water so I'll have some to take out with me tomorrow. So I'm going to get everything packed up, and I'm going to head out, and once I get to my halfway point, that's where I'll break down and I'll show you some techniques and stuff that we'll use to make a sustainable overnight camp. All right, see you in a bit. All right, let's get moving. All right, so we've come to a part on the trail. We know the direction we've got to go in. We need to head this way. So I'm looking for the easiest path of least resistance, and I've got two game trails. One game trail goes off the hill, gradually sloping. The underbrush doesn't look too bad. There's another game trail to my right, goes off in this area, starts getting in a little thicker, a little harder terrain to maneuver. So I want the path of least resistance, the easiest way that I can go. I'm not going to tell you to jump over trees, jump off waterfalls, and fall from things like some people do. So I'm going to pick the lower trail because they both seem to go the same direction that I'm trying to go. So we're going to head off this way, and hopefully it'll level out a little more toward the bottom. But this is the easiest way it's going to be for us to maneuver, less chance of a mechanical injury. Alright, so we're coming through the trail, and I'm following a game trail, a pretty beaten up game trail, and that's what I'm trying to stick to. I'm trying to find the easiest path that I can take. I'm still headed in the same direction. I pull my compass out, check my grid, check my coordinate, still know that I'm going the proper way. But I want to show you something, and on the game trail, and it's important when you're looking at this, know that wildlife's out here, and even though we're on a day hike, long-term, short-term survival kicks in, and I just want to show you that there are game animals in this area. And we've got a dig right here and it's pretty fresh, and it rained last night, so tracks are gone. So you've either got a raccoon or a possum or something like that, more likely a raccoon coming in here and he's digging. So this is fresh on the game trail we're on. So we know in a situation that there is at least small game out in this area. There's hogs out here as well, deer, turkey. We see coyotes every now and then. So just kind of be mindful of that when you're traveling and you're looking for a way out. You're looking for a trail out. So I know this trail's been used a lot. So I know I'm on a good path, and I'm going to stay on this path. So we're going to head on back out. Okay, so we've been on the trail for just a little bit, and it's starting to drop off on us. We're getting a pretty good slope. And our trail, game trail we were following, this is the direction we're trying to go. It's got to a point where it's getting kind of thick, and I don't really want to go off this unless I have to. So luckily, there's a T intersection, and there's another game trail coming across. It's a lot more level, and it evens out, and there's not a lot of underbrush. So we're gonna deviate just a little bit. We're still heading that direction, but we're gonna make a half circle to get back on track. Alright, so we done had to do a little loop around to get back to some level ground. Here's our creek that we passed earlier, so I know I'm still on the right track. So I've got a good water source. There's a good little clear area up above these rocks in this hump that I'm gonna set up for the night, and then in the morning I'll head back out and I'll follow the creek down. So I want to talk to you just for a second about location. I wouldn't want to set up directly next to the creek or water source, because at nighttime that's when all the little critters come down to drink from the water source. Also, If it's lowland, there's a potential for inclement weather, rain. A lot of these creeks swell and you get a flash flood. You don't want to be caught in that either. So I want to set myself up away from the water source a little bit. We'll set the area up. I also want to talk to you if you don't have a creek in your area water source. What do? You got to make sure that you bring plenty of water in with you. Obviously, they packed me some bottled water, so I'm okay, but I'm still going to go through some purification processes out here in the field. Also, hey, there wasn't a creek, now there is a creek. I need to take advantage of that. I need to hydrate myself. I need to refill whatever water bottles, whatever containers that I have. Take as much with me, because who knows when I'm going to be taken away from that source. And then purification. I always say before in everything we do, I don't drink directly from creeks and streams. The last thing I want to do is pick up a bacteria. So you're going to have some kind of purification system with you, or you're going to have to be able to purify it in the field with fire. We talked about UV before. This afternoon we're going to be using fire. I'm going to show you how to purify from the bottle. So we're going to get back right up here. We're going to get set up, get our shelter set up, get chow laid out, and I will go ahead and cover a few things. We'll go over some fire making, we'll go over some water purification. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so we're all set up. I've got my fire starter here. I'm going to use what my crew was nice enough to give me, some toilet paper, to add to my tinder bundle, because, like I said earlier, the ground is very wet. It rained last night. There's not a lot of dry material on the ground, so finding dry tinder in order to get a fire going is a little difficult. So, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, these products don't always work. The best people in firecraft, sometimes they will tell you that sometimes you can't get it. It's just the climate isn't right, the weather isn't right, the situation's not right. You're not going to get it. Whether you have a fire starter, where you've got a pump handle, or you've got a bow drill, no matter what system you're using, sometimes you just can't get a fire. So that might be what we're looking at tonight. It might be a fireless night if I don't get this going. So thank goodness my crew was nice enough to put some toilet paper in there, because that's something you're going to have on a day hike. That's something you're going to take with you. I take toilet paper with me. So I've got my tinder bundle, the driest stuff that I could possibly find. I'm going to take my paper, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around. I want it on the bottom. I want to leave a little area exposed right here, and that's where I'm going to try to hit my spark. I'm going to turn it on its side. I've got my little lean-to sticks here ready to go if I can get it to spark. So let's see what happens. Paper together. It's the problem when you're using paper. Trying to blow it out. Just trying to blow it enough so it'll catch some of this material. I can get a little bit going and I can transfer it. small stuff on there. To get it to catch. All we need it to do is catch. Like I said, the ground is very wet. It's hard to find dry material. Good one. And this is a tedious process. Going to keep adding. I've got enough dry right here that deadfall that I've picked up. If we can get it going good, I'm just going to keep adding a little here, a little there. I'm trying to get that good coal base so I can start loading some larger material on. I'm going to let him burn for just a second. I'm going to force it. Get in here again. There we go. I'm going to let this burn down a little bit and get us a good coal base built. And you just want to kind of put them where you need it. Some bigger material in here when it drops and falls. We're getting a decent coal base in there now. Okay, so fire's going pretty good. I'm going to have to pick up some more firewood. That'll be after I get the bivvy set up. So what I want to show you now is this is a store-bought water. This is what I brought out with us. This is what I just got out of the creek. So holding up side by side, you can tell it's a little cloudy, but there's no particles floating around in it, so it looks clean. It would look good to drink. This can be an illusion because it's not dirty. It has particles floating around in it. Doesn't mean there isn't bacteria in there. Which comes to our next setup. Now remember, I told you I have no container to boil this in, so I'm going to have to boil it actually in the bottle. So what I'm going to do, I've got a fork stick set up and a green long stick set up, and I'm going to take a short piece of paracord, set the bottle down for a second, and I'm going to tie a loop in here. Okay, I'm going to throw that around the neck of the bottle. Gauge it. It's about where I want to be. And then I'm just going to wrap it around and just tie a half hitch. And now I'm going to take the bottle. I can adjust it, height. And I'm going to get it over here in the fire. And then I'm going to have to weight the back down with something. Either another stick or a rock. And you can position it closer. Get down a little closer to the fire like that. Go. And I'm going to let that sit there, and I'm going to boil that water in there. And we're going to come back later. I'm going to have a container of purified water. I told you before that using this system, I can actually use that bottle about 3 times. That's about the lifespan I'm going to get out of it before the bottle breaks down and it melts on me. So we're going to let this go, and I'm going to go ahead and go over and get our bivvy set up for the night. Okay, so we've got our water purifying, we've got our fire going. Now we need to go ahead and get our bivvy set up for the night. So I picked this area between these 2 trees. I kind of kicked it out, cleaned it off a little bit. The ground is still damp, but I really don't have a choice. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and I'm building an elaborate system for one night. It's the middle of summer, it's not cold weather, I'm not really worried about a lot of conditions, so I'm just going to make something to get me out of the environment in case it does start raining tonight. So I've got my paracord, and I got my shower curtain, and my crew was nice enough to give me the layout and put my stuff on. So I'm going to use this, and one day they'll learn not to give me things because I will use these things. So we're going to spread this out. I'm going to get my height where I want it. I'm going to lash about chest height to me. Okay. I'm going to go over here. These are going to be my tent stakes for the back. Level. Wrap it once, wrap it twice. I'm going to come in and I'll tie it off like so. Put a slip knot in here so I can use this later. This is apparently cord that they've patched together because there's a couple ties in here. I want this piece right here. I'll take it. Conveniently located eyelets. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to thread them. And I'm seriously going to start carrying a shower curtain with me from now on, just because it's just, I mean, how much fun is that? Remember, survival doesn't have to be difficult, it can be fun. Alright, so there's one side. I'm going to do the same thing and get my width. And remember, this is not something that I'm going to spend 4 or 5 nights in. This is overnight. This is just to get me out of the environment a little bit in case it does rain. That way I don't get completely soaked. And then I'll come in, throw a few more. Always keep your tools where you can find them. Put a little tension. Like so. So what I'm doing is I'm merely just taking, tying this up a little bit. I don't have to do every eyelet, a few places. Now I'm going to take those pieces I pre-cut earlier. I'm going to take these cord and I'm going to go around back. And when I'm cutting these, cut them at an angle. And I'm basically just making some improvised tent stakes is all I'm doing. So I'm going to pull this back. And that's a pretty good spot right there. And now I'm just going to take, and I'm going to pinch that in a few spots. Alright, let's walk around front. Then now I can lay some material down. If it does something, if the weather does come up, it does rain a little bit. Got a waterproof cover. My bag will go here, that's where it'll go. And I'll get some of this cleaned out. I'll find some green shrubbery somewhere, put in, kind of bed it up a little bit. And this will be okay for the night. So right now I'm going to tend to a few more things, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I pulled the water off about 20 minutes ago. I've let it cool down. I've also taken, it's cool enough to drink now, so I'm going to show you. This is actually drinkable water. And when I boil this water, I let it come to a boil, and I let it boil for about 20 minutes. Now I've told you before in other episodes that everyone has their own outlook on this, how long they boil water for. I'm going to boil it as long as I possibly can. So, it's still a little warm, but it's okay. So, fire boiled water. Still a little warm, but I can stay hydrated this way. I'll hydrate tonight, I'll do the same thing, and I'll store some up for the walkout tomorrow. So, here's to you. Okay, so what I want to talk to you real quick about is it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my shelter. Fire's going out. It's dark. I'm asleep. I hear a rustle in the bushes. We are out here with wildlife. There are bears and coyotes and other things that go bump in the night. I had 2 knives. That's what I have. I'm on a hike. I didn't carry anything with me. So a common practice is I don't want to lay still and be quiet if I hear something, or I'm not going to go out there and investigate it. So I have noisemakers and things to keep it away, keep whatever it is away from me if I do have to fight. I believe in the 2F philosophy, fight or flight. Running from a wild animal is not a good practice, i.e. a bear, a mountain lion, whatever. Climbing a tree, probably not going to be the best situational idea you come up with either. So what I need to do is I need to take what I've got, and I need to kind of police up my security for the night. So I've taken and got a couple things laid out, and I'm going to show you how to take my, remember that folding pocket knife I had? I'm going to fasten it to a shaft, a 6-foot pole that I've cut, green pole. I've got a good bludgeon club that I've picked up, and these are my noisemakers. And I'm going to cover those first, and then I'll talk to you about the spear. So if I do hear something in the middle of the night, I'm not going to get up and I'm not going to go looking for it. I have a small LED flashlight. That's the whole point of me not trying to hike through here. So I need to make some noise. I need to let whatever's out there know that there's something here. So noisemakers, I'm going to take and I'm going to bang on a tree. I'm going to make some noise. I'm going to break some stuff. I'm going to throw some stuff. I take 2 sticks and fashion them together with a paracord. This makes a lot of noise when I throw it. I can sharpen the ends up. I'm trying to make noise. Trying to make some noise. I got other sticks I'm going to have by. I'm letting something know that I'm here. Now then, that being known, what I have left is my machete and my pocket knife. Both are close quarters tools. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of paracord. I'm going to tie me a slip knot on here. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that blade right here, even it up. Get it in here, snug it up. And then I'm going to wrap. I'm going to wrap my way down. And I'll make sure I got it tight. And I'm going to come back up. I'll come in behind and catch here's a lock. Back under here. And I'm going to cross a couple of times. And then I'm simply going to tie it off. And what that's going to allow me to do is that's going to give me a tool that I don't have to get right up on top of it. I don't have to be within arm's reach. I'll tie this off. And I'm going to let this lay right beside my sleeping area. Catch my pigtail. And now my reach is this far. So if I do have to come out and I do hear something, got my machete on my side, I do have the option to have a stabbing device that I can get something off of me, or at least deter it to where it doesn't want to mess with me anymore. So that's a little quick tool I can put together. Takes 10 minutes. This is going to be right beside my bed for the night, like this. Machete's going to be there. So if something does come in, make some noise, let it know you're there. Throw some stuff, have some sticks, break some stuff, throw some stuff in the woods. And make sure that you have a plan. And if something does come in, you have a means to defend yourself, because running is not an option. Okay, so here's what we've got going. So I've got our improvised shelter up. I've cut some green out of some small saplings. Kind of locked them in. I got a decent bedding. Two things this does. This keeps me off of direct contact from wet ground, because as you can see, the ground is wet. So it's going to lock in what body heat I do have. And I know it's summertime and I know what you're saying, but the wet ground will actually pull the heat out of my body, and it's going to keep me dry, and it's a little more comfortable than sleeping on wet leaves. So I've got a decent amount of room. It's not too bad. I've got my bag set up here, and this is going to be it. This is it for the night. So I've got chow laid out, fire going, water boiling. I found this nice stick I'm going to whittle on. A good club. Squirrel tries to come in here at night and cuddle up with me or take my Mountain Dew. But I want to stay here for 2-3 days? Absolutely not. That'd be miserable. Is this a good little spot for overnight? Absolutely. I'm going to be okay. Get up in the morning. I'm going to hike out, get to my vehicle, and I'm going to be on the road. And I'm going to be hydrated and happy and fed, and I got to experience something different. So you don't have to look at these situations as a disaster. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Maintain your calm, keep your bearings about you, have a plan, execute the plan. The way to make things like this better for you is to make sure that you have the proper equipment and gear in your bag before you ever go out on a day hike. Because basically what I'm doing right now, this is just an overnight camping trip for me. It's not a big deal. Some people handle things differently, so make sure that you've got the necessary items and equipment that you need always in your bag before you go out. Know the demographic, know the area that you're in, and know several different key points, location points, whether it be a river, a creek, a road, make sure that you always keep your bearings and keep your calm when you're out here, because this isn't a big deal. It's like I always say, survival doesn't have to be difficult. So this is our setup. I hope you've picked up some tips that will possibly help you through a situation like this. And I'm going to eat, get some sleep, and then I'm going to be out of here in the morning. So until next time, I'm Shane, the Lone Wolf Survival, Appalachian Wild. Have a good night.